The world is standing at the cusp of World War III. For the first time in decades, Russia downed an American drone, an American asset. This is a big escalation, and in this video, we shall discuss how China is involved in it. Looks like the whole incident had China written on it. Hi and welcome, you're watching Outright. We tell you the right side of the story. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for such outright videos. A few days ago, we discussed how cracks are appearing in the rock-solid partnership between US and Ukraine. US is not happy with how Ukraine is wasting American ammunition in the city of Bakhmut. White House is also frustrated at Ukraine's demands that Crimea must be taken back before peace talks are held. Simply put, US is now reconsidering its support to Ukraine and is wanting de-escalation with Russia. The US administration now wants to focus on the fast emerging China threat. And that is why we got to see this sudden escalation by Russia. But how is China responsible for it? Well, it must be noted that this incident took place just days before China President Xi Jinping's visit to Russia. And Beijing also knows that as long as the US remains involved in the Ukraine conflict, China can continue with its aggressive maneuvers in the South China Sea, in the Middle East, and even in American airspace. So, the longer US remains involved in Ukraine, the better for China. And that is why China is now throwing its military support behind the Kremlin. This is unprecedented. The US released this information in February. This decision was taken by Beijing after a Chinese spy balloon was taken down by US. China's military aid would directly support Russia's war in Ukraine. Now understand this. China has covertly joined Russia's war against Ukraine and US. China's ultimate motive here is to keep US busy and entangled in Ukraine so that it can pave the way for invading Taiwan, so that the US keeps exhausting its ammunition and so that it can pull off further aggressive maneuvers on American soil, like the spy balloon incident. Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang argued last week that because the US sells weapons to Taiwan, this justifies China selling weapons to Russia. This explains how China is using the escalation in Ukraine as a bargaining chip over Taiwan. A prolonged Russia-Ukraine war is now in China's interests. And Russia is more than willing to play second fiddle to China. It would love to fight an orphaned Ukraine with Chinese reinforcements. And in the start of this video, I talked about the imminent World War III because we are now witnessing more and more countries joining forces against US on the military front. See this report now. China, Russia and Iran are holding a joint naval exercise. China recently helped Iran bury the hatchet with its arch-rival Saudi Arabia, while Russia has announced to sell Sukhoi 35 fighter jets to the Shiite nation. Both Russia and China are betting big time on Tehran, which is a dangerous signal for the US. And let us not forget North Korea.
North Korea wasting no time in retaliating. Official state media saying the North launched 2 cruise missiles on the eve of the drills from a submarine off North Korea's coast, claiming they flew for 2 hours in figure eights over the Sea of Japan.
어제 우리 군은
South Korea's military confirming they tracked at least 1 missile launch from the north, saying they're working with US intelligence to analyze it.
So here is the great American predicament. Its economy is in mess, its banks are collapsing, 4 major powers, including 3 nuclear powers, are ganging up against it, and it seems to be caught between a rock and a hard place in Ukraine. And Russia and China are in no mood to let the US breathe a sigh of relief. Putin has taken full control now, I must say.